Welcome back to Mindful Stoicism. Picture this. You've sent a message to someone, eagerly waiting for a reply. Minutes turn into hours, hours into days. But your phone remains silent. It stings, doesn't it? Your mind starts racing. Did you say something wrong? Are they ignoring you on purpose? And before you know it, you're tempted to double text, triple text, or even pour your heart out, begging for their attention. Stop right there. That's exactly what they expect. That's what most people do. But not you. In this video, I'm going to show you a Stoic-inspired strategy, a response so powerful, so composed. It not only reclaims your dignity, but flips the script entirely, making them realize they can't afford to lose you. By the end, you'll never feel ignored or powerless again. Stay with me. This isn't just about words. It's about understanding human psychology and mastering the art of attraction through control and silence. Part 1. The mistake most people make. When someone doesn't reply to your message, it triggers an immediate and all too common reaction. Panic. Suddenly, you start questioning everything. Did you say something wrong? Are they upset with you? Or worse, are they intentionally ignoring you? This spiral of doubt and overthinking often leads to the same mistake most people make: chasing. Chasing takes many forms. It could be sending a follow-up text within minutes or hours of the first one, then another and another, until the person on the other end feels overwhelmed. Or it could be crafting a long emotional message, pouring your heart out in an attempt to force a response. You might even resort to passive-aggressive remarks, hoping to guilt them into replying. These actions, while understandable, are rooted in fear, the fear of rejection, abandonment, and the unknown. But here's the harsh reality. Chasing someone who is ignoring you rarely works in your favor. Instead of drawing them closer, it pushes them further away. Why? Because desperation is unattractive. It signals a lack of confidence and self-worth, and it shifts the power dynamic entirely in their favor. Think about it. When you chase, you're essentially telling them, "Your attention defines my value." Whether they're consciously aware of it or not, this puts them in control. They now know that they can ignore you without consequences because you'll keep coming back. This behavior not only erodes your dignity, but also reinforces their indifference. Moreover, the more you chase, the more predictable you become. Predictability breeds disinterest. People are naturally drawn to mystery and challenge, two qualities that are completely absent when you're bombarding them with messages. Instead of being intrigued by you, they begin to see you as an obligation, a burden even. It's important to recognize that ignoring your texts might not even be personal. People have busy lives, distractions, or their own emotional struggles. However, when you react by chasing, you escalate the situation unnecessarily. The truth is, the moment you chase, you lose. You lose respect for yourself, and they lose respect for you. If you want to command attention and maintain your self-respect, the key is to break free from this reactive cycle. Instead of chasing, pause, step back. Reclaim your power by letting your silence speak for you. It's a move that not only protects your dignity, but sets the stage for them to miss your presence. Part 2. Why Stoicism is the answer. When someone ignores your message, it can feel like a personal rejection. The uncertainty gnaws at your mind, and the urge to react to fix the situation is overwhelming. But here's where Stoicism offers a radically different perspective. It teaches us to step back, detach from our emotional impulses, and focus on what we can control. The central principle of Stoicism is simple yet powerful. Control what you can and let go of what you can't. In the context of being ignored, this means recognizing that you cannot force someone to respond to your message. Their silence is entirely outside your sphere of influence. What lies within your control, however, is your reaction to that silence. Think about it. When you react emotionally, sending follow-ups, over-explaining yourself, or showing desperation, you're handing over control of your emotions to someone else. You're saying, "Your actions dictate how I feel." This gives them immense power, often without them even realizing it. But Stoicism flips the script. By staying calm and composed, you retain your power. You show emotional independence, which is a rare and attractive quality. Here's why this mindset works so effectively in relationships. Silence is not rejection, it's a test. Whether intentional or not, people often use silence as a way to gauge your reaction. They want to see how much power they hold over you. A Stoic response, measured, unbothered, and self-assured, communicates that their silence doesn't shake your sense of self-worth. It demonstrates that you are not dependent on their validation to feel whole. This isn't about pretending to be aloof or playing games. It's about genuinely embracing a mindset of detachment. Stoics teach us to focus on our inner peace rather than external outcomes. When you detach from the need for a reply, you're not only protecting your self-respect, but also cultivating a magnetic presence. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and don't rely on external approval. Ultimately, adopting a Stoic approach to being ignored is about reclaiming your agency. Instead of being reactive, you become proactive. You shift the power dynamic, not through manipulation, but by embodying self-respect and inner strength. In doing so, you elevate yourself and, paradoxically, make others more likely to seek your attention. Stoicism isn't just the answer. It's a way of living that ensures you never feel powerless in relationships again. Part 3. The powerful response. So, what do you send when someone doesn't reply? How do you strike the perfect balance between expressing yourself and maintaining your self-respect? Here's the powerful, Stoic-inspired response. "Hey, I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to check in. If now isn't a good time, no worries. I'll catch up with you later." At first glance, it might seem simple, but this sentence carries a hidden weight of psychological and emotional power. Let's break it down. It's calm and composed. This message exudes self-control and emotional stability. There's no anger, no frustration, and definitely no desperation. You're not accusing them of ignoring you or demanding a response. Instead, you're presenting yourself as calm, collected, and unbothered by the delay. This calm tone communicates confidence and self-assuredness, two qualities that are undeniably attractive. When someone reads this, they won't feel pressured. Pressure often triggers resistance, but this message is pressure-free. It subtly conveys that while you care enough to reach out, you're not hinging your emotional state on their reply. It sets boundaries. The phrase, "If now isn't a good time, no worries," is a game changer. By including this, you're making it clear that you respect their time and space. But more importantly, you're setting an emotional boundary. You're indirectly saying, "I won't chase you, and I'm not here to beg for your attention." Boundaries are essential in any healthy relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or professional. They teach others how to treat you. With this sentence, you're reinforcing your worth by showing that you're not desperate for their validation. It creates curiosity. Here's the subtle genius of this message. It leaves them wondering, why are you so calm? Why aren't you chasing like most people would? Your tone of quiet confidence creates intrigue, making them question if they've underestimated your value. People are naturally drawn to things they can't easily have. When you demonstrate that their response or lack thereof doesn't shake your emotional stability, you make yourself stand out. It puts the ball in their court. This message shifts the dynamic. It hands the power back to you while giving them the opportunity to step forward on their own. By saying, "I'll catch up with you later," you leave the door open, but make it clear that you won't wait around. This positions you as someone who values your time and energy, which is incredibly magnetic. What happens next? Once you send this, do nothing else. Resist the urge to follow up or overthink their response. Your silence becomes a statement of strength. Whether they reply or not, you've maintained your dignity, which is far more valuable than any reply you could receive. Part 4. Why this strategy works. The strategy of sending a composed, non-desperate message when someone doesn't reply is powerful because it taps into the core principles of Stoicism: detachment, emotional resilience, and self-control. But beyond Stoic philosophy, this approach is rooted in psychology, and here's why it works so effectively. It signals emotional independence. One of the most attractive traits a person can exhibit is emotional independence. People are naturally drawn to those who can stand on their own, without relying on others for validation. When you send a calm, confident message that doesn't beg for a response, you're demonstrating that your happiness and self-worth are not tied to their attention. This lack of desperation makes you stand out. Most people expect you to chase, but when you don't, it immediately shifts the dynamic. You stop acting like someone who needs them to feel good about themselves, and instead you appear as someone who is perfectly fine whether or not they reply. It shows boundaries and self-respect. Setting boundaries is one of the most important aspects of any healthy relationship. By sending a message that acknowledges they might be busy and letting them know it's okay if they don't reply, you're showing that you respect their space and time. But at the same time, you're implicitly communicating that you won't chase after them for attention. You value your own time and emotions, which means others should value them too. This subtle yet firm boundary forces the other person to either step up or let the relationship naturally fade. It creates curiosity. When you stop chasing and adopt a calm, nonchalant approach, you create a psychological gap. People are naturally curious, and when they sense that you're not desperately seeking their approval, they begin to wonder why. Why aren't they chasing me? Why haven't they double-texted? This curiosity can pull them back into the conversation, as the power dynamic has shifted in your favor. They'll likely start to second-guess whether they've made a mistake by ignoring you, and this doubt can trigger them to reach out and re-establish the connection. It establishes your worth. People tend to value things that are scarce or hard to obtain. By not begging for a response, you're positioning yourself as someone who is not easily available. This scarcity principle increases your perceived value. They'll start to realize that your time and attention aren't guaranteed, which will make them reassess the situation. The more you show that you can walk away without flinching, the more they'll start to worry about losing you. This subtle shift in perception can make them desire your presence more than ever. It prevents power struggles. When you beg for a response, you're unintentionally entering a power struggle. You're positioning yourself as someone who needs to prove their worth. But by staying calm and composed, you avoid falling into that trap. You're no longer the one begging for their attention. They're the ones who are left wondering if they've lost something valuable. It turns the tables in a way that allows you to maintain control over the situation. In short, this strategy works because it plays into universal human psychology, shifts the power dynamic, and showcases emotional resilience and self-respect. It's a quiet but powerful demonstration of Stoic wisdom in action. Part 5. If they still don't reply. Now let's address the inevitable question. What if they still don't reply after sending that powerful, composed message? This can be frustrating, especially if you've invested emotional energy into the conversation. But here's the key principle of Stoic philosophy. You cannot control others' actions, only your own reactions. If someone consistently ignores you after your calm, assertive check-in, they are showing you their priorities, and unfortunately, you're not one of them. This is a hard pill to swallow, but understanding this is essential to maintaining your self-respect and emotional well-being. At this point, you need to embrace the idea of detachment. Detaching isn't about cutting someone off or harboring resentment. It's about accepting reality as it is and recognizing that you deserve to be with people who value and appreciate your presence. By continuing to chase someone who is actively ignoring you, you send the message that you don't value yourself enough to walk away when you're not being treated with the respect you deserve. This is where the Stoic mindset truly shines. A Stoic person doesn't attach their happiness or self-worth to the approval or attention of others. They know that their peace of mind comes from within, not from external validation. So when someone doesn't reply, instead of chasing them, a Stoic would reflect on the situation, learn from it, and then move forward. This process is empowering because it allows you to maintain your emotional sovereignty and focus on what truly matters in your life, your growth, goals, and well-being. Here's the thing. People who don't reply to your messages often don't understand the value you bring, and that's okay. Their silence is their choice, and it reflects more about them than it does about you. The moment you stop chasing someone who doesn't value your time and energy, you open yourself up to the possibility of better connections with people who do. Remember, you are the prize. People should be chasing you, not the other way around. When someone doesn't respond, it's a signal for you to refocus on yourself. If they're truly interested, they will find a way to reconnect with you. But you should never be the one left chasing. So, what do you do if they don't reply? You walk away with dignity. You know your worth, and you keep moving forward. You continue your journey of growth and self-improvement, understanding that people who are meant to be in your life will show up without you having to beg for their attention. So, the next time someone ignores your text, don't fall into the trap of begging for their attention. Respond with calmness, set boundaries, and let your silence speak volumes. Remember, the less available you are, the more valuable you become. If you found this strategy empowering, hit the like button and subscribe to Mindful Stoicism for more wisdom on mastering relationships and building inner strength. And tell me in the comments, what's your go-to strategy when someone ignores you? Let's share insights and grow together. Until next time, stay strong, stay mindful, and never let anyone make you feel less than you are.